Diamond Spotlight interview. I am Barbara Beckley, the founder of the Diamond Factor LLC, where the mission is to empower women to understand their PPD, as I call it, purpose, passion, and drive. And this platform is to make sure to increase their visibility and shine like a diamond to the world. Today we are spotlighting, as I always call the ladies, Queen Diamonds. And we have another Queen royalty in the house today. I want to welcome Patricia. She's an international contemporary artist, award-winning author, motivational speaker, entrepreneur, and the list goes on. I have a celebrity in the house today. Welcome, Patricia, to the Diamond Factor Spotlight interview. Thank you so much.
Hi, and thank you. And as I said, happy Thanksgiving to you and to all your listeners. It's a great privilege to be here. Living in Canada, we've already had our Thanksgiving, but wonderful to be here.
You know, I always say, Patricia, you know, I don't care what day it is. I know that they have certain days where we do the Thanksgiving in Canada and here in the United States, but we should be thanking each other every single day in the year. Just to be so grateful, just to be here and to be here with you, and you know that you're creating such an impact in the world, which we're going to hear in a minute here. So yes, I think Thanksgiving is every day. Thanksgiving is every day. So let's just get down. Let's get to meet you here. Let the listeners get to meet this. I told you she's a celebrity. She's a celebrity. So we got to get to meet her. She has a great impact. So you have so many gifts and talents. I mean, just reading just a snippet of what you do and what you have done. So I just want to get just a little background of how you found your passion in contemporary art. I was reading your website and everything, and I was like, wow, that's amazing. So can you just give us a little background on how you got into it and what made it such a passion for you?
Sure. The interesting thing is that I think when I was probably 3 or 4 years old, I fell in love with Elizabethan ball gowns, believe it or not, and I started drawing them. I had never seen one in my life. My mother couldn't figure out how was I able to manifest these drawings, and I think that was sort of like a trigger for me, that I just saw something very different in the way I would look at things. And, you know, I became a banker. I did all those other things, left side, right side. And yet the passion for the abstract was always there. I could just visualize things. I could see shadows, light and dark, and things that other people didn't see. And I was really fortunate. In 1999, I had an opportunity to go to France on a trip, and I was actually picking up the keys for the place that we would be staying by the gentleman who owned the home, and he had all this wonderful artwork. And I had a tour. I looked around and I saw this particular painting, and it was of a horse, a big white horse, and it was painted by a gentleman who was his name was Gagic, and they told me that he lived in Savoyon in Mont Ventoux in France, and I wanted to meet him. So I did, and I could not believe he had exhibited with Christo. He was friends with Picasso, a very, very famous artist in the Provence in France. So I was so wanting to be nurtured and mentored by somebody. And he agreed to take me. So for the past 20 plus years now, I have been going back and forth to France and really learned the Matisse palette. I spent months and days and days and days, you know, in his atelier trying to figure out, you know, the palette and how to create these colors, and then to create my own colors and find my own kind of creative way of explaining, you know, my thoughts and who I was through the painting. So the passion for expression, to be in that creative zone, it takes great patience and perseverance. But also, I like to think, you know, when we talk about life as a gift and how every single second has to count, the moments in between the moments, the joy of just not always looking for the big prize at the end, you know, and again, in a painting, it's like, oh, I wonder what it's going to look like at the end, but rather just manifesting the joy and the desire to love the process. So, yeah.
Oh, awesome. You know, it's just, you know, you're so inspirational because because I love how you took your passion. You really wanted to really have that mentor and going back and forth to France and back. I mean, see, I tell people it takes that extra. It takes a real extra to really, you know, when you find something that you really truly like, you'll go the distance to get it, you know, to get what you need and to get that teaching and to add the skills to it. So I commend you for that. That's wow. That's wow. And I see a lot of your paintings and stuff. I was like, oh my God, they're beautiful. They're so beautiful. And for 20 years, that's a long time. That's a long time.
Well,
you know, you create such impact. Wow.
When people are, you know, looking at what it is that they enjoy or what they feel that they can bring to the world, there has to be a purpose. You have to have a defined reason for doing that. And, you know, I've always been a person who, you know, we did not come from wealth, our family at all. And I had to visualize, I think, seeing what we did have in my eyes as we were billionaires. And even though we were absolutely, you know, penny to penny sort of life, I didn't want to visualize that as, you know, oh, poor me. So I think that my perception, I made a conscious effort to make it equanimity, where I never thought that there was anybody greater or less. And I think that really made a difference. Yeah.
Yeah, it does. I'm loving how you took, you know, like you said, you know, we all have our stories in life and what we do and our challenges. And, you know, all of us are not born into, you know, all the money or, you know, the riches or whatever. And sometimes we're, you know, that's our life, that's our story. And if we have to choose, you know, ourselves to go, I always say either you go left or go right and make that decision and say, okay, I'm just gonna, you know, I want to do what I need to do and move forward in it. And you took upon yourself to say, you know what? I mean, you know, there's things happen, but I'm going to strive to do what I want to do in my purpose. So, and I'm always telling ladies to continue to do that. We only have one life, and it's so important to find that in you and then move towards it. So awesome. So now on your website, I found this, and I got to read the whole thing because this really, really just, it just made a smile on my face. You mentioned, my hope is to share in the voice with each canvas as it is my journey alone. For those who walk alongside with me, I can only wish they will see the beauty within themselves.
Yeah.
Please give us a little backstory on that wisdom that you gave.
Wow. Well, okay. I guess the most important part for myself is to develop good habits. And when I walk in front of a canvas, I have to think of it as being no different than me meeting a person or me being in a certain situation. And what I want to do is I want to offer my best. I want it to be from the highest and most loving, compassionate, kind place that I can be. So when I look at the canvas and I start to go inside and I think, what am I going to reveal? Because art is a revelation. It's a very dramatic way of, you know, liberating ourselves and releasing that creative desire that we have been given. But when I finish the work, I have to believe that that good essence has come out of me into, you know, like writing words onto a paper. I'm using the paint on the canvas so that when the audience looks at it, they can say, oh, that makes me feel good. There's some aspect of that that I can resonate with. So I'm always hoping that at the end result, that the viewer of the work will see an appreciation for themselves, where they will actually find that sweet spot and say, that really resonates. I can really feel something. And I think that's the gift. So sometimes we can share with our words or our actions. And I think painting gives sort of like the ability for us to unlock that potential in ourselves, that, you know, we see something else and it inspires us. Like when, you know, I'm not going to brag here, but I did win the gold medal at the Salon National Beaux-Arts, the SNBA event in December 2018. And it was a moment, and it's at the Carrousel du Louvre. It's at the Louvre in Paris. And in that moment, I never for a split hair second would have thought my work amongst the thousands of you know, pieces that were there would have caught the attention of the jurors or caught the attention of the viewers. Now, while I was there and I was walking around, you know, for those 5-6 days, I went upstairs and of course you see the Mona Lisa. Oh, so it's a small, tiny, it's not that big, and you're looking at it and you're thinking, that 100 of people are behind me. Everyone's just waiting for that little moment to see this image. You have to imagine that that thought, the desire to even want to see that image, was so profound for so many people that they already had made a decision it was going to change something about them. Whether they just walked away and said, I just saw the Mona Lisa, or, she looked at me, she smiled at me, I had a profound reaction. So art all by itself is an imprint of something inside of you already.
I love that. I believe that it really is like the secret sauce of, you know, like you said, the creativity that's in you that you don't even realize until, like you said, you mirror, you look at the artistry of just not your artistry, but others. And I feel like that creativity that you know, a lot of you like, well, I'm not creative and stuff. But when you see that, it's just something, it's like this magic that comes out.
Yeah.
So yeah, I totally understand where you're coming from. And, you know, that's one of the reasons I keep telling myself, I don't care how long it's going to take for me. I need to get to Paris. I want to get to Paris because just seeing all the, like you said, the artistry and so like the Mona Lisa, just I know you were probably just like, I'm here looking at the Mona Lisa, look at this picture, you know, and it's just so much historical.
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
funny, Barbara, because I took the photograph of my work, and that was hanging downstairs in the Carrousel du Louvre. And I walked upstairs and I went, in my mind, I'm like having a conversation with Mona going, well, I'm hanging downstairs. You might be upstairs, but I'm down here. So it was like, it's such it was just so special. But one other thing, and a point just on what you had just shared, you have to give yourself permission. And I think a lot of people, you know, they don't give themselves permission to experiment with their talents, whether it's, you know, singing or writing or playing an instrument or doing something unusual. We hold ourselves back. And that's why I like to think that, you know, you unlock your potential when you rewire your thoughts, when you get into that state of, I want to become more. I want to simply experience my own world in my terms, not dictated by somebody else, but with what that, you know, I love how you have passion, purpose, and drive, the PPD, and every single moment that a person is living should be living with purpose, living with your passion. And whatever that drive is, whether it's, you know, for me, part of it is making a conscious giving, to make giving a conscious choice and a global practice in this world. And if it can happen because you're in a state of servitude and you get outside of yourself. Like, I know this is going to sound kind of crazy, and it's important to value yourself, but it's equally as important to value everyone. And you know, we all sit here today and it's an important day in the world. People are celebrating, they want to share, and it might be in isolation, but I think the mindset is that everybody's in that state of appreciation. And when we can all do that, we should carry that every single day. That has to be the drive. We can't just make this a one moment, oh, today's the day we're all going to be grateful and thankful and, you know, profound appreciation. But tomorrow I'm not going to be nice.
It's like, okay, today, okay, I'll do everything. And then after the day is passed, it's like, okay, I'll go back to my normal self and just, you know, be wherever by myself. And I'm like, no, take this on forever, every day. Yes, because you never know. And just, you know, I was just thinking about when you just said, Patricia, how, you know, everybody's taking this day, especially in the U.S. right now, because we celebrate it today, that everybody's taking that time out to be thankful for something.
Right.
And I'm thinking of, and I hate to say this, but it's kind of in the same mix, you know, dealing with this pandemic. We're all dealing with it. It's not just United States or Canada or whatever. We are all dealing with this. And we've been dealing with it for months. So why can't we take the positive out of being thankful and do that all year round?
Yeah, exactly. So one piece of you know, that emotion that you've just sort of evoked in me is being mindful. Like, why are people being mindful about certain things, but they're not mindful, you know, about others? And, you know, I know we're going through a period of time where the masks are well, obviously they're mandatory, but there are people who are, you know, defying that, the logic that it won't happen to me, that I don't carry it, I'm not going to. And it's such a prevention. And I think if we thought about all of our actions as wearing a mask and being mindful of what we offer and what we do, how we say things to people, you know, sometimes we can just blurt out, you know, a little word, and you don't realize that the person whose ears were catching it, you know, might have been hurt by it. And because of their, you know, interpretation. So I think just being mindful always is important.
Always. Yeah. We got to care not only for ourselves, but for our others, brothers and sisters in the world. And, you know, and that's one of the reasons what really pushes me, Patricia, to do what I do with this. You know, a lot of people are like, well, Barbara, I know you spend time interviewing the ladies and stuff. I say, do you know that's a gift for me to get to know these awesome ladies and get to understand their purpose on why they create such an impact and inspiration for others? You don't think I love this? I would do it until, you know, it's my time is ending. So, and if I can, you know, give you and other queens, as I call you, Queen Diamonds, that platform. We have a platform out here. You know, I keep telling people, don't waste, you know, what's going on. I mean, you have all this technology. Use it for the good. You know, like you said, Patricia, you use it for the good, what you do. So thank you for creating an impact. And thank you for opening up people's creative juices, as I call it, because I think we need that. You know, we need that balance. And a lot of times, you know, especially because I work during the day, I work in corporate. At the night, I do all the Diamond Factor stuff. And I tell myself, I said, I have to have a balance because I don't want to be just and then, you know, and then the creativity is gone. So thank you for making that such a good norm that we need to look at. Now, now talking about, I wanted to ask you this because I know I asked the other people that I interviewed too in the industry that they work in, if people want to like do what you do, like, you know, you took on what you're doing, what would be like one quality that you would recommend the listeners in your artistry world of what they would need to do to start that process?
Well, that's a loaded question, but I would say commit to something that will give you a step towards it becoming a reality. So if, you know, and if we just take art, you know, if you're interested or always had the desire to become, you know, an artist, well, then obviously take a class, or, you know, thank goodness, because we have the privilege now of Google and all these other things. you can log in. There are master classes, I think, for almost everything on this planet, and find the comfort, find, it's like whether it's a show or find a mentor, but definitely open the conversation and be willing to make a commitment towards it.
Awesome. I love what you said, Patricia, about, just making that commitment and just make sure that it's something that you want to do. I always tell people, once you get on that journey, and if you don't really like doing it, you're going to see it's going to be kind of a struggle, even because, we're all going to go through our challenges in life. That's just a part of life. But why do the extra struggles if you really wasn't committed and really didn't want to do it completely? So, I mean, look at you. You're going back and forth for 20 years to France to make sure you're mentoring and getting all the information that you need. I mean, if that's not passion and your purpose, I don't know what is. I don't know what is. So Patricia, share any last thoughts for the listeners, and then please let them know how they can contact you.
Okay. Well, I will share this with you. So this past weekend, I actually received the Lifetime Achievement Award by the Women as a Woman of Inspiration by the Universal Women's Network here in Canada. And I was, oh my goodness, I was very surprised and really shocked. But I have to say, I'm a member of a couple of organizations, the IWF, and I'm also, a WXN Top 100 Most Powerful Woman in Canada, Hall of Famer, being nominated 4 times. And all I think about is sisterhood. I think about the fact that I have been a mentor for many, many years, and I've a long history of, both business as well as, my expression. But open your heart and open your eyes and have a conversation and stop belittling everybody because maybe they haven't achieved or what you have, and see them as an opportunity to raise the bar for women, raise the bar for our sisters, raise the bar. There's no color, there's no religion. It's the human factor. And if you're willing to experience that in its fullness, then be inspired to share it.
Awesome. Thank you so much for saying that. Wisdom on top of wisdom. That's much needed and needs to be heard today, especially what's going on right now. So thank you, Patricia, for sharing that with the listeners and to the world. We do need to be about helping each other and lifting. And I'm putting hands up there, lifting each other up. And I don't care who you are. We need to lift each other's up. So real quickly, congratulations on all the achievements and the awards. That's awesome.
Thank you, Barbara.
I said earlier, but congratulations. So I thank you, Patricia, so much for allowing me to spotlight you and your business and what you do and your purpose, passion, and drive in your life. And I wish you continuous success in both areas, and just keep on moving forward because you have created impact. And again, you're a celebrity to me, and I know everybody else out there.
Thank you so much, Barbara.
No problem. So those who are listening, thank you for joining us for another special episode of the Diamond Factor Spotlight interview. You can join the Facebook community under Diamond Factor Experience. And if you wish to be spotlighted like this wonderful queen today, please contact me through Messenger and we can get you a date and a time. And remember, as I always say, your Diamond Factor that I call is your foundation, is your PPD, your purpose, passion, and drive. Please understand that you have gifts and talents for yourself to move forward in whatever you're trying to do. And then also do that next step in sharing that with the world, because we all need it. We all need your gifts and talents to help each other out so we can move forward in life. And that said, have a wonderful day. And I always say, shine like that diamond. Thank you again, Patricia. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Barbara. Bye.